What's up, JG603, owner and operator of TSW Wrestling. We got the power rankings. We're, of course, going to touch a little bit on BattleBowl, huge pay-per-view this last week. If for some reason you're here, haven't seen that yet, make sure you go over, check that out right now. But we're going to dive right in these rankings today and see how things shake out this week. Let's get it. All right, first and foremost, of course, we have the honorable mentions / goodbyes. It's been a little bit since we've done this, so kind of no harm to some of the folks falling off the list here, but some of these oh so pertinent to this last week. Of course, Vibe first and foremost, Wall Street holding down the 4 right now, so we'll give him a little bit of love in this spot. Of course, keeping the 25 first spot a little hidden for you. Kapnerk, really good showing as of late, of course, fantastic in the Universal Contendership, didn't quite get the win there. But this last week, outnumbered certainly in the multi-man match, going, of course, for Young's title. No manager for him. Of course, everybody else kind of was locked and loaded. So I think the big question right now is Cap fully on his lonesome right now in the current state of TSW. It's been a struggle, so we'll see what he can figure out going forward. And I have some really high hopes that Cap will get back involved in some top tier feuds here in TSW. Talk about a top tier feud that didn't go his way. We're talking Thick Ched, of course, former heavyweight champion, former Golden Mike. Big year last year, quiet year this year. Haven't seen much, heard much from him, and some tough losses. Biggest of them is kind of getting squashed like a bug by PA Tony. Of course, now part of the Dark Antics family is one Tony, and this is some big momentum for Tony. We can confirm earned himself a title shot. We're not sure which title that will be quite yet, but we do know Tony will be challenging for a strap in the very near future, possibly at Saturday Night's Main Event, so we'll see where Tony ends up attacking, so to speak, but interested to see. Ched seems to be maybe on the shelf for a little bit here. Will he come back better than ever? Maybe some backup this time? Get some revenge on the La Familia? We're going to find out. We're talking about someone who's looking for some revenge here in TSW. We're talking Claw. Couple tough losses, but he has been on an incredible run since joining TSW, but been caught up with the, lack of a better term, bullshit of Wall Street. So I think the big question, of course, as is the question right now, is who can take down Wall Street, knock him down a peg, so to speak. Of course, have added the Cruiserweight Championship of LeBron, maybe Claw. Got his eyes set on that. We'll see how things shake out in the future weeks upcoming here for Claw and company. And then we got to touch on Savart here, mainly because we had guys shooking out the rankings. Old goodbye, Claw was 18, Savart was at the 19 spot, so we got to touch on our guy, one big SOB. He has been fantastic in the ring. This new character, new mindset alongside Trades. He has looked dominant. Unable to get that marquee win quite yet, but he's someone to watch out for here in the later part of Season 2 of TSW. But let's get into these rankings. 25, dropped a spot. We're talking Finn Doggy Dog, you know, didn't get the BattleBowl win, you know, no current title contention. However, we do know he'll be backing up Landmark, who, spoilers, won the BattleBowl, and he'll be trying to chip away at Wall Street. So Finn is going to step up alongside Blue, my boy Blue, to try to whittle away at the force that is Wall Street. And talk about someone who keeps punching up to these bigger groups. We're talking big time TS2, Sweet himself and sir, of course, of the Brotherhood. Rumblings, tumblings, murmurs of them trying to add something. I tell you what, I don't hate that at all. I'd say right now is faction warfare here in TSW, so we'll see if the Brotherhood can expand a little bit, but big time, nearly the man to face LBJ. That close to winning the inaugural BattleBowl. Tough showing this week as well, this close to a win. We're talking Bam, of course, former heavyweight champion, former tag champion. Couldn't get the job done, to the ire of much of the audience here in the TSW faithful. And a shady way to end things, too. Real back and forth. Kinshasa's flying around weaponry. But it was the powder. The powder to the face, blinding Bama. From what we understand, she's doing well now, but at the time there was legitimate concerns of eyesight damage here. So I think we're all very excited to know that Bam will be on the up and up, expected back in the next few weeks. Hopefully we can see Bam back in action, maybe challenge Emma again, be the one to end this tyrannical reign truly here in the women's division. But for now, Bama, get better soon. Talk about someone who needs to get better soon after that brawl, that war of attrition, and hopefully he's got his tetanus shots. We're talking XHG Prodigy, of course, caught on the bad side of Joker right now, and Joker's got a bit of a matchup coming down on himself as well, which we'll certainly be touching on later on in these rankings. But Prodigy finally gets a big title win here in TSW BMI Championship, but might have just been a bit of a against a man of destiny in Joker, as Joker chipping away at XHG's finest. Prodigy, don't turn your back on the Wolfpack, a new version of the theme. Absolutely love that, but we'll see if the Wolfpack maybe can get some back up here in TSW. Moving right along, we've got the former mixed tag champions, Mrs. Stoney and Stoney. Good showing. It was TLC, a little bit of fluke involved there, certainly, but back of the line now. Stoney, similar to Prodigy, kind of a breakout year, getting his first title win alongside Miss Stoney. We'll see what's next for these two here in TSW. Of course, when you look at the divisions, the champions, contenders, there's a lot of openings right now here in TSW. We've got Tony, aforementioned, dominating the former heavyweight champion. I think Tony opening some eyes in a big way here in TSW, not only aligning with the Dargantics family, but of course a monster win in every sense of the word. A little bit of distraction there, but fantastic showing nonetheless, certainly. So Tony will have a title match coming up. By the way, we got to change him from the black and yellow, of course, to the purple, now that he's aligned over there. But I'm curious to see what Tony's got in mind for Saturday's main event here. Certainly we're going to find out in the upcoming weeks, and we don't typically have a major contender this low on the list, but a lot of champions in TSW, these guys are well aware. So at 18 is going to be Landmark, the Big Boss Ham. Very well could be the first ever two-time TSW heavyweight champion of the world. Of course, would eliminate big time in that showing. We know will look to chip away at Wall Street in a big way. It's going to be the Founding Fathers against Wall Street in some permutation at Saturday night's main event live. Atlanta, Georgia, right outside Cobb County, kind of some hometown cooking there for Landmark. Can he look to even the odds as Halloween Havoc against LBJ? Less than a month away right now. That's a big matchup in every sense of the word. We talk about big matchups, big superstars, big weeks. We talk about bad weeks. Backstage, we got to talk about Animal here, of course, was sneak attacked by Craigie, who did take a bit of a beating from Young, too. I tell you what, Craigie showed some serious versatility, some heart, some courage, some perseverance this last week, showing up a couple times in the show despite taking a bit of a beating here and there, but the challenge has been issued. It will be Animal and Craigie at Saturday night's main event, and this is going to be an underground rules match, knockout submission. Only way to win that match, and we've seen multiple times the loser of that match does not come out the same way, will not likely be around for a little bit. So that is a huge opportunity, not only for Animal, you know, to whittle away at the defense system of Wall Street, but big week for Wall Street to try to take the chess piece of Money in the Bank off the table completely. This is a big opportunity for both sides. See how that shakes out. We talk about big opportunities, big groups, doesn't get bigger than the Dargantics family. Well, sort of. Some are bigger, but not as much on paper. Dargan, Night Owl, Big Daddy-O's, Pat, the Cruiserweight Specialist, of course, now adds Tony. As this faction is growing, as many factions have grown so far this year, we're talking the reigning Trios champions, and some of the other divisions, bit of a back burner due to some, you know, who do we face them off against? Do we just throw some Daddy-O's out there to make sure it's a real cohesive unit? Well, we can confirm the Dargantics family will be in action at Saturday night's main event. We'll be defending those Trios titles. Not sure who against quite yet, but we can confirm these three will once again be back in that squared circle. Now we talk about the champions, the factions, the groups, and groups that don't like the Dargantics family. And you got to look at Brandon 2K, and of course, by extension, the Lady 2K, Mrs. Brandon 2K here. You know the history between Brandon and Dargan. It's a tale as old as time. Truly a top feud of the year. I believe did win the 2 Sweetie for that very reward. But right now, mixed tag team champion, Zero Belt Brandon. Well, he's got a belt, ladies and gentlemen. And he's looking good in this division, able to take down the Stonies in the rematch clause. We'll see what's next for these two. It's a division, you know, in some ways deep, in some ways shallow, depending on how you look at it. A lot of possible pairings, though not many on paper right now. So I'm interested to see who steps up next for the mixed tag team champions. And we have our former legend and a guy who, you know, I've had my issues with, but respect where it is due. Blessed be the Clap Daddy, the Messiah Clap, Johnny. Outside the top 10, a lot of champions that have some real high contendership right now, I gotta say. But Johnny, unbelievable run again. We'll make sure we punch up the details, but longest combined reign, longest single reign. Incredible year here for the Messiah. Well done, sir. But all good things come to an end. But we do believe there is a rematch clause on the table, so we'll certainly hear from Clap this upcoming week, see where that falls. There's going to be Saturday Night's main event. There's going to be Halloween Havoc. Does he just want to get this out the way? Maybe he just wants to go this week. Maybe he wants LeBron right now. We're going to find out, ladies and gentlemen. But time to get into this top 10. Controversial, somewhat, certainly. Let's dive on in. At the 10 spot, we got Jen, which means at 9, we got Nuggy. No fault to their own, a little bit on the shelf right now. Of course, there's a unfortunate shakeup, unexpected in the division where, you know, contendership that was expected to happen didn't work out. Long story short, we need a contender for the women's tag title. So they'll be defending these titles at Saturday Night's main event. I know a lot of tag titles Saturday main event. Big opportunity here. It's going to be a tag team show, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we're going to see who steps up next and if we will see the end. But by the way, to an undefeated streak of Nuggy. Undefeated in TSW. Been kind of slept on in the Rookie of the Year conversations. Talk about Rookie of the Year conversation contenders. And I'll be honest right now, could be my pick, my personal pick for Rookie of the Year. The former Trios champion and now reigning, defending Cruiserweight champion LeBron joining Wall Street, turning his back on TSW. And what a match. I mean, every piece of that match, absolute cinema, down to him bleeding his own blood, leading directly to a... You don't make him bleed his own blood. We saw that firsthand by the Messiah. So we know LeBron and Clap, they'll see each other again. Interested to see, will Clap become an unprecedented... Would that be four-time? Yeah, four-time Cruiserweight champion? Unheard of. Or will LeBron put down the Messiah on behalf of Wall Street and vibe certainly and move on to greener pastures here in TSW? It's a great question. Great question. As LeBron's vibrant colors begin to dull, as we talk Rookie of the Year, we talk about another possible contender for Rookie of the Year. When we talk Meckle Monster, of course, alongside a monster himself and Raw Dog, the Dog Pound here. Reigning defending tag champions. Controversial finish. Bit of a forced count out there, so I'm going to give Team Canada another shot at the Dog Pound. And you better believe Saturday Night's main event, the hits just keep coming. So we're going to have a no DQ tag team contest. They're likely an Extreme Rules style situation there. Raw and Mech versus Team Canada. We're going to have a definitive victor there. We can't have a count out. We absolutely can't. But I tell you what, Raw and Mech seem real happy. You know, end of the day, a win is a win. But we want a little bit of satisfaction here in TSW. Now, the top 5. You can probably gather who's in here. Time to find out the order. In at number 5, we've got Joker PhD, failing enough the former tag partner of Raw Dog. Reigning, defending BMI champion, of course, as we mentioned, former tag team champion. And Joker has been on a roll, putting them down as quick as they can challenge him. And how about that repeated spike to the throat? We hear maybe some light tracheal damage to Prodigy, maybe a little bit of time on the shelf. Unfortunately, Joker twice now. Vicious stuff. But we know what's next for Joker. Certainly will be later in these rankings, that individual, as Joker maybe could be the first to not only have 2 singles titles in the men's division, but also be the one behind what is now a 44 and 1 for Big Yunk. 44-0 is the Big Daddy-O, and I tell you what, he's not 4, he's not 3, he's not 2. Spoilers. He's top. He's been 1 for months now. He ain't going nowhere. But let's check out the rest of these rankings. We've got at the 4th spot, we got I Love You Z-Rock, my man, the Rocker Z-Rock. Great showing versus CJ. Easy doing. I tell you what, this man's the best. You know, I feel like maybe slept on division sometimes, the Universal Championship. But we're gonna make sure that this title, it's as good as it gets it. And he's beating contenders. He's beating everybody that lines up. Saturday's main event, he's gonna have another goddamn challenge. I tell you what, doesn't matter if it's 1-on-1, 1v2, triple, quadruple. It doesn't matter. This man is the best of the best, damn it. And I tell you what, it's a good looking belt too. God damn, do I love that belt. Beautiful, beautiful design on a beautiful champion. Best of the best, baby. And now the top 3. Time to get controversial. Doesn't get more controversial than the reigning defending champion in Emma Rose. Talks a lot, backs it up in the ring. Controversial finish as well with the powder blinding Bama to cheat to get that victory. And it's been an interesting few weeks, months, you know, certainly descending into darkness now. Imagining things. You don't know what's coming next when you're in the ring here, and it's a scary proposition. I know this locker room is starting to galvanize against this force, so we'll see how these next couple weeks, months shake out, as I do believe that we're turning the heat up on the champion here. But now, number 2 will be the King LBJ, because I mean, LB, fantastic showing, but I mean, it's Young. We said it was going to be Young a couple of entries ago. It's Young, damn it. But LBJ is going to jump up to the 2 spot. Fantastic reign thus far. Couple big matches. At the end of the day, this is the crown jewel of TSW, the TSW Heavyweight Championship of the world. Wall Street running the show. LeBron's got the strap now. I tell you what, if I'm a champion, I'm worried about what could be next for a Craigie, a Vibe, and AJ. But I do know LBJ will be facing his longest rival since the day TSW began. Landmark and LBJ was the feud to watch, but I don't think a soul imagined that we would be seeing it quite like this. Heavyweight Championship main event. Landmark, the good guy. LBJ, the bad guy. What a dynamic that is going to be. I can't wait to see those two in action. But of course, number 1 with an absolute bullet is Big Daddy Young, 44-0. We know we'll defend. We'll be facing Joker for the BMI Championship Saturday night's main event. We know this. But there's a week between the 2 matches, ladies and gentlemen. So Young, he will defend that Hardcore Championship this week. We will see who steps up and challenges Young. Young, will he go 45-0 to prep for title, or will it be 44-1? Will he be pulling double duty instead that night, or does he lose that strap to a BMI? Maybe it's a BMI triple threat now, Hardcore BMI, I don't know. But what I do know is this man is ungoddamn deniable. He is the best of the best right now, the face that runs the place, and he might just be on his way to double strap action here in TSW. Well, guys, I appreciate y'all for coming through. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, activate all that good stuff, and I'm gonna catch you next time. Woo! Appreciate you. Bye.